main man, Jeff Garcia, joins the show.
Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm good, man.
Brother? How's it going,
How about
man?
yourself?
I see the San Ho on there.
Yeah, representing the Spartans, man. Hey,
Hey, no
got to
doubt.
represent the blue gold, and just so happens to be my junior college colors. I'm coaching at a high school now. It's their colors, so
Yeah.
hey, it's keeping it in the family. But hey, good to meet you guys. Good to be on the air with you guys, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you. So, what's going on at Gilroy? I saw your story. You and your mom, or what's the deal? They named the stadium or the field after you guys?
So my mom's dad, my grandfather, used to be the head football coach at Gilroy High School. And before my dad met my mom, my dad went to Gilroy High School. He played for what would be his future father-in-law. He was teammates with my mom's brothers at Gilroy High School. And so when I had an opportunity to name the field based upon, my background with Gilroy and all the things that I have done in the community there, it was important to me to not only represent the Garcia side, which my dad coaching at the junior college in our hometown, all their games were held right there at the high school. So, I named it after my Garcia side, and then the elder side was my mom's side of the family. So they all had a great input there at Gilroy High in the community of Gilroy. So, John Pay put together a little funny little skit because they had recognized me at the NFL alumni, Northern California alumni golf tournament as their man of the year. So he basically was trying to take all the attention off of my dad being the coach and me kind of following in his footsteps to the real true champ of the family is mom, and she really is. She really is.
No doubt. Love it right here. This is on. This is a great deal, man. That's crazy right here. This is great. Seeing that, man. Legendary stuff. JUCO legend, man. I'm a JUCO guy. Aaron Rodgers, California guy. JUCO guy. We got Tom Brady. Obviously, those all you three are from up north. And I'm a Southern California guy. So I remember when I was in the record books in SoCal when we used to track passing records, I was chasing you for a long time. I was like, that's fucking Jeff Garcia. You're a little before me, obviously. So I was like, man, love the JUCO stories. A lot of people don't realize how many JUCO. John Madden, California JUCO guy. Warren Moon, Southern Cali guy. We're gonna have him on tomorrow. So can't thank you enough for hopping in. Let me ask you: Are you kind of similar in theory with Kurt Warner and his takes on current quarterbacks? I just wanted to know because Kurt and I talk, and we're kind of similar as far as these personal trainers that to become a mockery to me. It's an absolute joke. I seen a fucker sitting in a chair and he's throwing him on the field. This trainer was teaching him how to throw in a chair, and I'm like, when are you going to get in a chair? It's becoming a mockery. Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing with the quarterback position? Because I think it's a bad product, man.
Everybody's a guru now, right? I mean, I see some of these guys that are out there coaching quarterbacks, and I'm like, well, what is your personal experience playing the position? And you see this at the professional level as far as quarterback coaches as well, like guys coaching the position at the elite level, the highest level of the game, and yet they're not former quarterbacks themselves. How can you talk about decision making, timing in the pocket, feeling the pocket, not recognizing or looking at the rush, but feeling the rush, understanding how to step up in the pocket, attack the line of scrimmage, all those things. I mean, these kids dealing with their throwing motions. I mean, you can tweak things, you can kind of get them out of a bad habit. Maybe they're dropping the ball too low. They got to keep it up. They got to be more precise in their delivery. But all these different drills are just guys trying to get attention, like being recognized for doing something different. When I was training quarterbacks, it was all about footwork. It was all about getting your front foot in the direction of the target location, follow through with the throw. Hey, nobody's going to be exactly the same, and I'm not trying to make you all the same. If you're accurate, That's all that matters. Hey, putting the ball in the right location. But at the end of the day, it's about your timing. It's about recognition of defensive coverages and understanding what you're facing and how to throw guys open. I even see it in the NFL. I talk about quarterbacks still waiting for guys to get open before they're releasing the ball. Like there's no timing in their footwork and the drop and the release of the ball. And hey, he's a Super Bowl champion, but Hurts waits on guys instead of just anticipating and throwing guys open. That's why you see him with the best offensive line in the National Football League and the best running back in the National Football League, still always trying to roll to his right, buy extra time. It's like, no, I'm sure you had an open guy prior to that, but you're not either seeing something correctly or you're afraid to pull the trigger on time and now you're trying to buy more time. That's shouldn't be happening, and I hate to use him because hey, he won the Super Bowl and all those things, and he's a great young quarterback, but there's room to improve. And I think it comes down to actual coaching, like who's coaching him up on where his eyes should be, what his decisions should be, how to get the ball out on time. That's why you saw a little bit of frustration with those receivers in Philadelphia. It's like I'm running open and the
Reading
ball's not
books.
coming to me. Now we're going into scramble drill. And I'm
Yeah.
wearing myself out because we're always scramble drill trying to find an opening when I was already open the first time,
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Did we just become fucking best friends? I'm just telling you, I critique Mahomes the similar way, and I'm the biggest hater, and I don't know shit, and these fucking nobodies know more than me. And it's literally hearing myself. But Smitty had a question about that.
I was gonna say, first of all, I love your passion behind it. I can tell you, you still got that love for the quarterback position, of course. But it's funny you mentioned Jaylen Hurts as your example, because we started today's show off with a poll question asking, is Jaylen Hurts a top 10 quarterback? In your eyes, you know the position better than me. Do you view him as a top 10 quarterback in the game today?
I think he's in that area right on the bubble of the top 10 quarterback.
Got you.
When you have the offensive line that he has, when you have the running game that he has, now you're creating an 8-man box to try to stop the run. You got one-on-one outside. You should be a top 10 quarterback, especially when you got guys like you have at the receiver skill positions who can be difference makers, who can get open, who can run good routes, who can make plays. That simplifies the game for the quarterback in so many ways. You got defenses that are overly concerned about the run game. So now you're getting that strong safety up in the box and a single high safety. Man, that's like licking your chops as a quarterback. Like, which side do I want to work right now?
Right.
You're basically picking your side and your man to man almost coverage in the sense of you got a corner playing either deep third or man to man. Let's go. And
Project
so
Garcia
from that.
in that offense would probably be, I can imagine what you would do. With AJ
Well,
Brown, Devontae, that O-line, and Saquon? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's really blessed to be working with the best tools in the league, man. And hey, he's optimizing it, but hey, let's look at the Super Bowl. That defense was unbelievable.
Yeah.
To not even pressure with 5 or 6 guys and get pressure on Mahomes like they did, that defense came to play, obviously. But hey, he made plays as well, but there were 2 decisions early in the game. He had an under from the outside and an out from the inside slot. The first play of the game, I believe, he tried to force the out throw, or it was one or the other. He
Yeah.
went where he shouldn't have gone. It was incomplete. The second time, I want to say it was picked off, or he got away with it because he scrambled outside, but the ball should have been thrown on time. He didn't need to wait on it. A couple little examples, but hey, it cleaned up. He had a great game, MVP, all those things. But that being said, I look at those decisions like going back to Carson Wentz after his knee injury. When he came back, he was not the same quarterback he was obviously before his injury. Going on an MVP type of role before he got injured. And then obviously Foles steps in, they win the Super Bowl. I'm sure that crushed his spirit in ways because you're not now the main guy in Philly, and Philly fans can kill you in a sense, but his decision making completely changed. It was almost like he needed to be perfect on the field. And when you're a quarterback, You can't play with that expectation like, I'm going to be perfect on every play. There's going to be plays where you're going to have to adapt and react and make a play. But when the play is given to you, when you're running two verticals versus single high, and you just got to look the safety one way and throw the seam the other, and you're not pulling the trigger, something's wrong, man. And so that's where I felt like his decision making, his mentality completely changed, and it was a downhill spiral, and he hasn't recovered since.
I listen. There's so much to ask, but and I can't thank you enough for hopping on here. This is refreshing to hear because people all call me crazy when I say the same things. Let me ask you to this whole topic. We got this quarterback scenario. I think they're the most gifted athletes we've ever seen, but I think it's the worst quarterback product that I've ever seen. If that makes sense at all, like they don't understand it. Are we failing them at the high school level, at the college level, and by going fast, RPO, not getting in the huddle anymore, not teaching verbiage? I mean, it's a card now of Stephen A. Smith, or we're not getting under center. We don't teach under center. I know college coaches that aren't teaching under center at all. Like even killing it. They're killing it in the gun. Like, I mean, it's crazy. What are you seeing so in totality in the current landscape of things?
Yeah, it's almost like quarterbacks or coaches are trying to predict and make the decision for the quarterback instead of the quarterback actually having the keys to run the offense and go through his decision making. Nobody's teaching that. It's almost as if they're, okay, the way we've designed this play, you're going here with the ball. Well, that's not always going to work based upon what coverage you see, and now they've kind of done it in a way where they've simplified the game for these quarterbacks, but I feel like they're not teaching the basic tools. When I took over as the offensive coordinator this season at Mira Mesa High School right here in San Diego, they're coming off of a 1-10 season. I felt if there's a school I can help out and really coach the quarterback position, the first thing we started was with under center. And I'm introducing a West Coast style of offense. Now I'm trying to bring down some of the language and the verbiage because it could get lengthy and simplify it. But I want my quarterback first and foremost to recognize where the safeties are. Are they single high or are they too deep? Where's the potential pressure coming from? Do I need to get the ball out quickly if I get an overload to one side or the other? Now, I want to make sure I don't overload his brain because he's a 16-year-old kid, but he's a smart kid. He's got physical tools. When I watch him throw, he's got strength, he's got accuracy. If there's one thing that I try to teach him on is his front foot almost cuts off his hip rotation. He's almost stepping too far in front of himself, and he doesn't allow his hips to always get through, and it creates a little bit of inaccuracy, and he's got to fix that. When he's in the gun, don't take a false step. Hey, if it's a quick pass, you reset, get the ball out. If it's a 3-step drop, it's 1, 2, 3. Hey, if it's an out route, your plant throw. If it's a bang post, your plant throw. If it's a curl, your hitch throw. Like, don't take that false step. Now you're behind. You're not getting the ball out on time. Your footwork's messed up. And then process of elimination. Hey, we're looking high to low, man. You can't wait on a high route to get open. You got to get down to your check down. If it's not happening, get down to your shallows or your check down to your back, all those things. So I'm trying to coach him the way that I was coached. I'm not looking at these new era ways of playing the quarterback position. Like, to me, like 7-on-7 creates the worst habits of all kids in high school football. You watch these kids play in these 7-on-7 games, they don't take a drop. They're hitching up toward the line of scrimmage. It's unrealistic, and so those create these bad habits. And then coaches are like looking at, oh, did you see that throw? Did you see what he did there? And I'm like, no, I don't like it because his footwork was awful and he didn't get the ball out on time,
Right.
So there's things like you, Jay, you played the position, junior college level, at the next level, all those things. You were back in the era when, hey, we worked from under center, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, maybe a 7-step drop. Then we built the play action movement off of that. And all those things were part of the development of a quarterback, and nowadays it's just get in the gun, catch and throw. Hey, you got all these bubble screens, you got all these RPOs, you got, and I don't want to downplay what Brock Purdy did when he broke my record there at San Francisco. He threw for over 4,000 yards. Hey, broke my record finally after 20 years or whatever. But how many little bubble screens and little screens did he throw throughout the season? Like, now, granted, hey, I think he's one of the more gifted quarterbacks from a mental standpoint, how he grasps the game, his decision making. He plays in a great offense with Kyle Shanahan, but they get helped a lot by these little screen passes. Hey, you got McCaffrey in the backfield, you got Kittle, you run these little, hey, shovel, basically a
Yeah.
shovel like a jet sweep, but it counts as a pass. I mean, come on now. Like all those things. I wish our coaches were a little bit more
Innovative.
Advance.
innovative, exactly. Because I talk about that with my dad, who was a former, JUCO coach. I'm like, why weren't we thinking about this stuff when we were playing? I mean,
We're
my
JUCO
grand.
guys, Jeff. We don't know shit, apparently. It's unbelievable. I've had Mike Martz, who's a good friend of mine, and other guys on who know that I actually know some shit. And they're like, all the people need to hear from somebody that actually played it and got paid doing it before they actually say, oh, well, JB actually knows what the fuck he's doing. Do you hear buzzwords anymore? Like, I just want to know, like, I used to, step out of bounds on an out throw, like an out cut, whether it's an arrow, a flat, or a deep out. Step out of bounds. Why are you stepping where he was and not where he's going? I don't hear no buzzwords anymore when you're coaching. Be quick, don't hurry. I tell the QB every day, be quick, don't hurry.
Yeah.
I don't hear shit. I go out here and a weekly show, guest on our show is Eric Weddle, obviously lives down where you are, and he's the head coach at Rancho Bernardo. And maybe you guys will play, but and we got a lot of San Diego people in the chat here and a lot of coaches in the chat, so they're loving it. But you're basically regurgitating everything I say every day.
Literally, there you are.
Literally.
Yeah.
Are you the same way with Andy? You played for him.
Yeah.
Andy, to me, is the best there is right now. And I think Mahomes has benefited so much from what you're saying. I mean, we're getting it out quick. We're not throwing into the teeth of the coverage at all anymore. I don't see – now, Purdy will throw a dig route and a dagger and a couple things. But other than that, I don't see it no more. I don't see anything on anticipatory throws between the two high safety look, outside back or right in the hole. I don't see shit like that in football no more. And I'm like trying to tell people, they're like, oh, he got me 49 draft points on Fantasy King. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is now, right? Betting.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Andy Reid was phenomenal as a head football coach and also just an offensive minded guy. I mean, he had a lot of impact in what we ran in Philly, especially taking the West Coast offense and expanding it and really attacking down the field. When you saw Jackson running those deep corner posts or a deep post corner and putting a safety in a bind. Now, you got to have some protection up front in order to make those throws, but he did a great job of expanding the West Coast offense to really attack down the field. And then obviously the screen game, how he utilizes his backs. I mean, we had Westbrook when I was there that one year in Philly, and I mean, the guy was just unbelievable, not only carrying the rock from the backfield, but out of the backfield and getting one-on-one with the linebacker or exploiting the coverage in certain ways, even putting him outside. Hey, to the linebacker, a little simple pre-snap read. You put the running back outside the receivers in a wide split. Who adjusts to him? Did the corner adjust or did a linebacker go out to him? Now you could bring the running back in. Hey, it's man to man or it's zone. Little things like that.
You guys were the first ones doing that, by the way. I know you guys, March with Marshall Falk was doing it in the Rams, same era.
Yep.
Let me ask you, how much of that? So let's say you wanted to run a big 18-yard corner post or whatever, and how much of it, though, that were you doing and being successful under center? Because the window dressing that you could do under center, I can play past it. I can hold the defensive line. Yeah. We're getting the gun, Jeff, and then fucking pin our ears back, and we know we're coming after you. We don't get under center no more to give you the time to take a 5 to a 7-step drop after play pass and get that time. O-line is a lot better to sell run and being able to pat and see what's coming. It's rather than the gun and 2-point stances is all we're seeing now.
And that's one thing because of my approach to the game and how I know the game at this high school level. It's important that we work under center as well because I want the run game to not only be effective from the gun, it's got to be effective from under center because that's going to open up our play action and our movement game. You get better fakes when you're under center selling to the defense than you do from the gun. Oftentimes. Now, the gun is better for the RPOs and that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to show, hey, we'll run downhill in under center setup. We'll also throw the ball from under center. So defenses can't just pin their ears back and be like, okay, they're in gun every time. This is where the quarterback's going to be. No, I want our quarterback to have mobility. He's going to run with the football at times. We're going to have setup opportunities for him, but we're also going to play inside the pocket as well as outside the pocket. We're going to utilize, and that's the great thing about what Kansas City does. They force a defense to cover not only from goal line to goal line, but sideline to sideline.
Right.
And when you have to be aware of sideline to sideline with Mahomes, that's a lot of ground to cover for a defense and to try to force him to stay within the parameters of the tackle to tackle, and it's not happening. Hey, they find their ways to get outside, just like San Francisco does a great job with the zone run and then the bootlegs and nakeds off of that.
You know what? We're talking about Kansas City. We're talking about, Coach Reid, obviously who you played for. And we know how talented Patrick Mahomes is. But when you look at their success over just his entire career so far with the Chiefs, who do you give do you give more credit to Andy Reid in that system that he's created? Or do you give more credit to Mahomes? Or is it kind of like a 50-50 thing for you? Because I know a lot of times on this show, JB, he likes Mahomes to an extent, but he feels like he's a little overrated. And he gives more credit to what Andy Reid does with that system more than what, the talent that Mahomes is.
Yeah, I think you have to look at what Andy Reid coaches and really not completely putting a lock on Mahomes, giving him freedom within the system, but yet also making sure that he's not just playing outside and playing backyard football. Because there are times when obviously Mahomes has created and made plays that not many other quarterbacks, if any, can make. Outside the pocket or with his feet, with his legs, with his arms, hey, sidearm, cross the body, all those sort of things. But the system and plugging the right guys in and coaching up the system like Andy Reid does, because, hey, before Mahomes, he had great success in Philly with McNabb. Just didn't win the Super Bowl. Went to 4 NFC championships in a row. That's like the Buffalo Bills of the Jim Kelly years. Hey, they were 4 Super Bowls in a row. Hey, Jim Kelly was great, but they also had a great running game. They had a great system. He had great tools around him. They did all the things necessary to be successful. And Andy Reid,
Alex Smith, he had a pretty, some good.
Yeah, they were successful with Alex as well. So, I think Mahomes brought a different dimension. He brought an opportunity to, when a play does break down, because we're going to see that 30 to 40% of the time, he's capable of making something special out of it and not compromising the play by turning it into a negative. And Mahomes is special like that. What I don't like, what I see with Kansas City nowadays is it seems like the tight end, Kelsey, he's on his own. He's on his own. Like he does whatever he wants. It doesn't seem like it's part of the package of plays. And so I don't think there's that continuity with Mahomes and Kelsey like there was a few years ago. I think they've given them too much freedom to ad lib. Okay, you got the opportunity. If it's zone, you could do this, but everybody else is doing this. How does that fit into the structure of the actual play call? And I feel like that's where they're off. He's not getting the ball like he was 2-3 years ago and creating matchup opportunities where he's still staying concise and precise to his route. There's a lot of freedom and it's kind of throwing things off a little bit.
And to that point, I mean, the offense, if you really break down and look at the Chiefs, their offense hasn't been the same in like about 3 years. Now, listen, they keep winning. So, we kind of turn a blind eye to it. But even Mahomes, you look at his stat line last season, he was decent, middle of the pack quarterback, but he wasn't amazing. But we kind of give him a pass because they keep winning and make it to the big game. Let me ask you this: a lot of people already have him in like their GOAT conversation. I saw, I think it was Sports Illustrated. I sent it to you, JB. They did like their top first team, second team, third team, all quarter century like lineup, and they already have Mahomes in the second team, like above Peyton Manning, above, some of these other greats. Me, I'm from Indianapolis. I'm a little biased. I love Peyton Manning. I think watching Peyton play, to me, I mean, he was phenomenal. Do you already got Mahomes, though, like, right underneath the Brady and Montana conversation, like today?
I think so, just because
Okay.
you got to look at the wins, right? The Super
Okay.
Bowl titles. I mean, what he's done, and I agree with you. The last 2 years, they have not been as efficient and as effective on the offensive side. They've had great defensive football that's presented great opportunities for them, as well
Right.
as an offense with field position parts of the game. But from a decision-making standpoint, it doesn't look the same as it did 2, 3 years ago when he was playing a little bit more under the structure of the offense.
Right.
Now, I do believe, just because of the fact, hey, they've won what, 3 Super Bowls with him?
I think,
They've
yep.
been to 4 or 5.
But then when the
They've been
five,
to they've been to 5. I mean, he's on that pace of Tom Brady, within his career, still being what, not even 30 years old, maybe, or right around 30. I mean, he's still
yeah,
got a good, hey, anywhere from 5 to 8 years, whatever he wants to put in, if not longer, it's up to him. But that being said, this team is, on the pathway of continuing to get to that final game. And if they win 1 or 2 more, I mean, he's now past Joe Montana as far as
right.
Super Bowl titles. And the guy brought a different dimension to the game and has been really special. So you got to recognize that, hey, it's a new era of quarterback. I mean, if I was coming out in today's world, I may be drafted. Who knows? Because my
Right.
style of play kind of fit the style of
Yeah.
play that is going on today. I was just scrappy, and they found a way and made it happen, and yet still tried to play within the West Coast system and decision making. But I could lengthen a play. I could make plays outside the pocket. I could throw on the run, all those things. That being said, his style and what the style of play is at the NFL level nowadays, I mean, everybody wants a Mahomes to lead their team. They want that type
Yeah.
of quarterback, a guy who could play within the pocket, outside the pocket, make plays, threaten the line of scrimmage, all those things.
My last thing here, and JB, please jump in after this. So we've been having this conversation in basketball and in football about the importance of rings, right, and winning. Based upon what you just said, it sounds like for you as a quarterback, winning is like the probably the most important thing in terms of how we evaluate your overall greatness. Because if we just sit back and just look at like just ability and how the ball comes out your hand, like we've argued on this show. I mean, guys like Matthew Stafford, guys like Aaron Rodgers, like peak Aaron Rodgers, of course. I don't know if Mahomes is actually better than them from a standpoint of being in the pocket, delivering the ball, being on time, like being like a true quarterback. But because he's been so successful as far as in the winning category, to your point, it's like we got to put him there.
Yeah, to just go back on that, you're right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers in his prime, the
Like,
way the ball just came out so quickly, so effortlessly, uh, throwing guys open, anticipating. Those guys definitely are special. Mahomes just, I think, brought a different element to the position as far as, hey, now he's the no look throws, the sidearm throws, the ability to turn a negative into a great positive. But that being said, I think there's too much emphasis from the writers, from the media, on the quarterback position. Well, if you haven't won a Super Bowl, then you're not shit. Then you
right.
aren't in that special
Echelon.
group. And to me, that's ridiculous, because every team is built differently.
Yeah.
You may have a hell of a quarterback down in Jacksonville, but they can't get out of their own way. Or Cleveland, or Detroit has turned it around. And now, Goff went from being, a pretty good quarterback with the Rams, leading them to a Super Bowl. Yeah, they didn't win that, but he led them to the Super Bowl. But then they just discarded him. Hey, Stafford came in and he ran the same system, led them to the Super Bowl. But Goff, hey, was a decent quarterback. And now he's in Detroit, and he's definitely elevated himself in the eyes of, for me especially, like, man, that guy's a solid player. He makes good
Yeah.
decisions. He doesn't turn the ball over, doesn't make the critical errors. Hey, he leads the team. He makes plays when he has to. Like, to me, that's what the quarterback position is all about. And when you have a surrounding cast, hey, defensively, special teams, hey, you got the necessary pieces in place on offense, you need your help. You can't do it alone. As you know, JB, hey, we could go out there, we could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if we don't have receiver, we don't have protection, we don't have the guys helping us, then we're gonna look half-ass or shit, And so for me, like, you can't just put it on Super Bowl rings. Like, I've been on the Hall of Fame ballot, the last 4 or 5 years. I'll probably never get to the final cuts because I didn't win a Super Bowl. Does it mean that I didn't have maybe the statistics or the games or play the game at a high level at certain points in my career? I was top 5 quarterback in the league. At one point, I think I was runner up to Gannon for MVP. I was in the top 2, 3 in the talk in 2002. So, like, I came from a path of not being recognized coming out of college, not drafted. So that already, kind of puts a little asterisk on me. But hey, Kurt Warner overcame that. But Kurt also took his team to 3 Super Bowls and won a Super Bowl. I think that's what separated him from a guy like me. That's what put him over the top to be considered. And yeah, he was an MVP, but we were playing at the same time. We had battles against each other. Hey, we had a similar length of career. Our stats aren't a whole lot different. And he was, in a great system in St. Louis with Martz and a Marshall Falk, and he had 2 Hall of Fame receivers. I mean, the guy had a great offensive package around him, but he executed it the way it needed to be executed. And that's why they won a Super Bowl. And then he went to Arizona. He did the same thing. He led them, of all teams, he led Arizona to a Super Bowl. I mean, that's pretty special when you do it like that, like Kurt did.
Yeah, I had Jordan Palmer on, who's training Qs and stuff, and I think Carson, like I mentioned that, I said, man, Jeff Garcia, Carson Palmer, there's guys on the outside looking in that I would bring in a discussion. People look at me crazy. I'm like, you guys don't know football. Like, you just don't know football. There's no Carson Palmers and Jeff Garcias no more. They're like literally. There's Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Name me another QB. Burrow, but it's really throwing into the teeth of the coverage, on time, anticipatory, open windows, throwing guys open. There's just not a lot of it no more. Back when you played, everybody was doing it. That's what the NFL QB was. Last thing I got for you, I hate to waste your time. I appreciate you hopping on. Purdy, you're a former Niner. I know the market is the market. We know it's crazy now, and I know you wish you were playing right now.
Man.
Would you have paid him the money? And is he a bus rider or a bus driver?
I truly believe he's a bus driver. I think he is worth the money. I think he's going to give you everything he has. He's going to attack each day to be the best that he can be. He's a student of the game. He's going to put the film work in. He's going to be a locker room guy. He's going to be in the weight room doing the necessary things. And then he's going to go on the field and he's going to run the system as if he were the coach of the offense. I think he's got that type of mentality and approach. And then he's got enough of the skill set to where he can make all the throws and he could even lengthen plays like he's shown. He attacks the line of scrimmage. He's got good pocket awareness. They had so much of a cluster last year. They lost McCaffrey right away. They lost Ayuk in the second game. Debo wasn't the same. He had Kittle and he had Jennings, but the running back situation was forever changing. Yet he still played adequately. He still did a good enough job to lead that team, to give them a chance to win football games. Their defense was a wreck as well. So that being said, I think he's got enough of the mental ability. I like more than anything how he sees the game, how he grasps the game, how he operates the game, and then he's got the tools, enough of the tools to make it happen. So I think, at that, you're paying guys like Tua and you're paying Jacksonville's quarterback and you're paying these guys, more money than what, Dallas's Dak, keeps setting the bar, and it's like, well, really,
Herbert.
What are you doing? Are you leading these teams to playoff victories? You're not, so
Herbert has won one.
It's just, it's for us, we look at it like, damn, unfortunately, it's just kind of the direction of where the quarterback position is going. But I think he's deserving of it. he could be their quarterback for the next 8 to 10 years.
So you believe the Niners are going to bounce back this season?
You know what I think helps them is having Robert Saleh back on the defensive side. I think having him back is going to get that defense cohesive again. But I just don't know if they've done enough through the draft and the free agency to like replace the players that they lost. That's going to be the key. Who's going to step up, and will McCaffrey stay healthy? If he doesn't stay healthy, then again, just like Philadelphia, when you have that guy in the backfield, he creates so many problems for a defense and forces them to focus on him. Now it opens up your quarterback's game and your receivers' game. So that's going to be a key.
You got a good friend of mine coaching now at your old alma mater, San Jose. Come from Navy, done a lot of things. Brought some Usos with them. You happy where they're headed?
Yeah, I think Coach Brennan, prior to Coach, did a great job of reestablishing the university there, of getting them back in a direction where they were winning football games. They were competing on a weekly basis. Obviously, what Coach has done in his history of coaching is second to none in a lot of ways. And he brings a passion, he brings an energy to that university that, hey, I'm happy he's there. And I just hope that they continue to grow and continue to compete. This college landscape is all screwed up nowadays. It's all about the money. And I think you have a super league, super conference with obviously the SEC and the Big Ten, and then everybody else falls down below. They're like a bunch of scavengers trying to find a meal. And, so it's really created a different situation. But I think where San Jose State is with the conference that they compete in, they can compete with everybody in that conference. And hey, they could have a very successful run this year. So, they have to go to Texas and play the Longhorns in the second week of the season. That'll be interesting. But hey, don't underestimate a starving dog, right?
No doubt. Jeff, man, I can't thank you enough. I can talk to you all damn day, man. We have to hopefully get you back on, man, maybe during the season or something. Good luck there at Mira Mesa. You're at Mira Mesa?
Mira Mesa High School, yep.
So my whiskey's made down there. So I'm down there often too, man. So I might have to pull up the boat on you.
There you go, man. All right, JB. Hey, good talking, you guys. All right, take care. Have a great day.
You too, brother.